guys, how are you all doing? Welcome back to another weekly championship predictions video. Today I'm joined by Jamie. How you doing, mate?
I'm all good. How are you?
Not too bad. We just watched Coventry draw 0-0 with Stoke. A bit boring, but not the end of the world. My results against Michael is up there. I haven't added it up yet, so we will have a look at the end. And that is the score against the guests now as well. So yeah, I'll see what's going on there. But I believe I'm still beating the guests. Let's get into this week's predictions. Just before we start, guys, I know some games have been called off. I think Millwall's games have been called off. A few games have been called off, but we're going to be predicting the full set of fixtures anyway, because the games will still get played out at some point. So we're starting Tuesday night's predictions with Birmingham City versus Derby County. Now, Derby lost very late on against Preston at the weekend. A terrible result for them. That's going to be really disheartening. And travelling to Birmingham, it's not an easy game. Birmingham drew 0-0 with Nottingham Forest. They're quite solid. I think they're just going to be a bit too solid for Derby. I'm going to say Birmingham 1, Derby County 0.
Well, Derby are struggling this season, aren't they? I would be a little bit concerned if I was a Derby fan. I'm going to go 1-0 because Birmingham aren't as in much trouble as Derby.
Yeah, 1-0 to Birmingham as well. Yeah. The next game is Millwall v Watford. Like I said, this one has been postponed, but we'll predict it for when it gets played out. I'm just going to think Watford will be a bit too strong for them when this game comes around. I'm going to say Millwall 0, Watford 1. What do you reckon? Well,
Watford coming down from the Premier League, they've got more experience in more professional football than Millwall. However, Millwall are doing quite well this season, aren't they? But I will say 2-0 to Watford.
Okay, 2-0 to Watford. The next game then is a big one. It's Sheffield Wednesday down near the bottom against Middlesbrough, who are battling to get into the playoffs this season. It's two big managers going head to head. Tony Pulis versus Neil Warnock. It's the clash of two old men, and I think both of them play quite defensive football. So I'm actually going to predict a 0-0 draw here. Middlesbrough would probably nick it if I was to choose a team to win, but I think Sheffield Wednesday might be able to grind out a 0-0 here.
Well, I kind of disagree with you there, Matt. I think Wednesday are very defensive, but I will say 1-0
to
Middlesbrough.
1-0 to Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
Okay, the next game then is between Huddersfield Town and Blackburn Rovers. It's a tricky one. Huddersfield Town, I've said this season, they're a very difficult team to predict. But Blackburn, I believe they drew at the weekend against Sheffield Wednesday. So it's an interesting one. I do think Blackburn have got a bit too much quality. Really hard. I'm going to say Huddersfield 1, Blackburn 2.
Well, because it is quite tight, I feel it may play out just to be a 0-0 draw.
A 0-0 draw?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Huddersfield, yeah, they've had a few 0-0s. Coventry drew 0-0 against Huddersfield, so could happen. Okay, the next game then is Luton Town versus Bristol City. Now, Luton lost to Reading at the weekend, and Bristol City beat Wycombe, but they only just beat them. I think it was a late goal. And at Luton, I think this game will be quite tight. I'm actually going to go for a 0-0 draw here. I think both of these two will play out a stalemate, and then they'll probably both be quite happy with the draw.
I think Luton have got a little bit more to give this season. I'm going to go 1-0 Luton. Although Bristol City being a great team, I think Luton will just edge it.
Just edge it.
Yeah.
Okay, the next game then is Norwich City going up against Queen's Park Rangers. Now, Norwich obviously doing well this season, but Queen's Park Rangers, things aren't looking great. They lost to Swansea at the weekend. They are sliding a little bit close to that relegation zone, so they're going to try and want to get back to winning ways soon, but I just don't think they're going to do it against Norwich, who are very good. Norwich 3, QPR 1.
I'm going to go 3-0.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's just the way how it's going at the moment. I reckon Norwich might affect their confidence with how well they're playing. They may, QPR may just feel really damaged almost.
Yeah. Okay. The next game then is Preston North End against Coventry City. It's a tricky one. Preston did snatch that win against Derby at the weekend, but Coventry City with a 0-0 against Stoke, which isn't a bad result, but I'm just a little bit worried with Coventry at the moment. I think we are picking up the odd result, but we do look like we're struggling for firepower at the top end of the pitch. I don't think we're going to score against Preston, and I think we're going to concede. I'm going to go for Preston 1, Coventry 0.
It's scary, the fact that I'm agreeing with you on that. I'm saying that we've got to get used to boring games to stay up, just to stay up. I'd take boring games to stay up. Yeah, I'm going to have to say 1-0 as well.
Oh, okay, 1-0 to Preston as well, blimey. Okay, the next game is Rotherham versus Barnsley. This is a Yorkshire derby, and Rotherham haven't played their last two games, so they've got a bit of catching up to do. I think they've just fallen into the relegation zone. I'm not sure, they might just be in or just be out, but they're very, very close at the moment. Barnsley, they're doing okay, I think. So I think, I don't know, Rotherham need to get a result. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. What do you reckon?
I'm going to say 1-0 to Barnsley. Yeah, it's not really exciting games I'm predicting today, but due to the difference in the table, just by a common average, I'm going to say Barnsley 1-0.
Barnsley 1-0.
Yeah.
The next game is Wycombe Wanderers, who are struggling at the bottom against Cardiff City, who lost 3-2 to Brentford at the weekend. Now Wycombe really needs to get a win soon. They don't want to be cut adrift, especially at this time of the year where things are just starting to take shape. Cardiff City lost at the weekend. They haven't got as much pressure on them as Wycombe do. Cardiff are just sort of sat mid-table. I think Wycombe will draw this one. I'm going to go for a 0-0 draw. What do you reckon?
Well, how well would you say Wycombe are adapting to being in the Championship?
Well, they're doing okay, but they're taking a while to adjust. I think they're just going to fall short this season.
I reckon they're going to lose 1-0 then.
The next game is between Stoke City and Nottingham Forest. Now Forest drew at the weekend, Stoke drew with Coventry. So I think they'll both come into this wanting to get back to winning ways. And I think Stoke have more quality, and especially at home. I'm going to go for Stoke 1, Nottingham Forest 0.
Well, Stoke didn't really press us as much as I thought they would today. I'm going to say a 1-1.
A 1-1?
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
They didn't seem as impressive as I thought they would be. We managed to defend quite well, didn't we? And we managed to break through their defence too.
Yeah. Okay. The next game is Brentford versus Bournemouth. Now this, in my opinion, is the most exciting out of all of these. Brentford and Bournemouth, both teams could get into the Premiership this season. Both of them looking pretty good. Brentford with that 3-2 win at the weekend. I'm just going to back Brentford to beat Bournemouth 1-0, but I think this could be a really exciting game.
Yeah, I agree with you on the exciting game part of it. I'm just going to back Bournemouth 2-1 because I think they just got that momentum, and I'd even consider them being in automatic promotion.
Yeah, I think Bournemouth will get automatically promoted this season the way they're going.
Above Norwich?
I think it will probably be Bournemouth and Norwich. It's hard to call. Brentford and Watford are all in there, so it's a big scramble. Swansea are up there as well, so it's a hard one to predict who's going up automatically. The final game is Swansea City versus Reading. Now, two teams that are probably, both fancying their chances of getting promoted this season, especially Swansea, because they are flying at the moment. I think they're into the top 2 now, which is really impressive. And who knows, if they can win this and just keep winning through January and February, they could be in a position where they're going to get automatic promotion. I personally think Swansea might just fall into the playoffs. But this Reading team's not a pushover. They're going to be battling to finish in the playoffs this season. I just think Swansea will edge it. I'm going to go Swansea 2, Reading 1.
Well, Reading won today, didn't they?
Yeah.
But it was quite a close game. Did they win 3-2?
2-1.
2-1, yeah. But like you say, Swansea are strong and they're climbing and climbing. I'm going to say 2-0 to Swansea.
2-0 to Swansea.
Yeah.
Okay, cheers for watching today's video, guys. Let me know your predictions down below, and we'll see who got more predictions right in the next video. I think I will, because I've beaten you on the last couple of times you've been on the channel. So
I'm just useless at football knowledge.
Okay, right guys, we will see you all in the next video. Take care, peace out.